Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to today's Pick a Card. We are going to take a look today at why is this person in your life. So before I get into these piles, let's just clarify, make sure we're on the same page. Why is this person in your life? That can pertain to a person that you are romantically interested in. That can be a person who is your friend, who was your friend. This can be family. In a reading recently, I said something along the lines of people come into your life for a reason or a lesson, and sometimes the lesson is the reason. So that's kind of what I want to take a look at today is the person, whichever person that is on your mind, why are they in your life? What lessons are they teaching you? Possibly you teaching them. We'll just leave the door open for whatever is ready to come in. So again, we're asking, why is this person in your life? So try to think of a person as you kind of take in these different piles. So in a moment, I'm going to give you a close-up of the items that I chose today. We have some brooches, which are beautiful, and I'm going to give you a close-up of those. Before we get into that though, let me just remind you that this is my only YouTube account. I will link below the only Instagram account and the only TikTok account that I have. Please be aware of scammers. I do not reach out to you through DMs or comments to solicit readings. The only way to book with me is through my website, and if you would like to do so, that will be linked below as well. I am absolutely happy to do personal readings. I love it so much. So let's get into these piles. We have pile number 1, pile number 2, pile number 3, and pile number 4. Let me give you a close-up of brooch for pile number 1. Look at that. Look at, you can see my window. And me. This is a beautiful, I don't think, yeah, I'm not sure what stone it is because it's not a pure black. It's kind of like a metallic black. So it might have some kind of glazing on top of it, but a beautiful, oops, let me focus. Beautiful black brooch. Brooch. I say brooch. If that bugs you, I'm sorry. And then let me cut the deck. We're just gonna give you a peek at what the deck looks like if you're not familiar. And we have the Queen of Cups. This is one of my favorite decks currently, the Pope Tarot. Okay, that is pile number 1. Pile number 2. We have a beautiful flower with a pearl in the middle. Show you the back just in case. And then we're going to cut the deck and give you a peek at... Ah, that's the Queen of Cups as well. Fancy. That is pile number 2. What are the odds of that? And in pile number 3, we have a lovely fairy brooch. And then let's cut the deck. We have the Ten of Swords. And don't let that scare you off if this is the pile that you're drawn to. I'm sure the card that we cut the deck with, I'm sure, might come up in some sense, but that doesn't paint a whole picture, right? And this is pile number 4. Look at that. It's very interesting because these little rocks have like a very interesting glaze on them as well. And they're coming up in the screen. I can see they're coming up a lot more blue than they look in person. In person it's very red with like a blue shimmer, but there's a lot of blue on screen. Very beautiful little starburst, and it also has a hook so you can wear it as a pendant. That is pile number 4. Let me give you a look at, oh, and we have, are you kidding me? You saw me cut the deck. That is very interesting. That is the Ten of Swords. So we have the Queen of Swords, Queen of Cups, Ten of Swords, Ten of Swords. Again, don't let that, that's very interesting. I think maybe they gave us similar cards so you could see what they look like in relation. I'm sure these are all going to be very different readings, so don't let that confuse you. Try and pay attention to which pile is calling you the most, which brooch is calling you the loudest, and you will, as long as you follow your intuition, you will pick the right pile. Don't worry. Okay, I'm going to give you a moment to focus on that, and then I will meet you at your reading. You can find the timestamps in the description below. Hi Group 1, this is your reading if you chose this beautiful black brooch. We're going to set it right up here, probably off to the side though. I'm just thinking about how it's kind of interesting that I set it this way instead of this way. Not sure if that has any meaning though, but we're going to set it up here and get right into your reading. So we're going to take a look at why is this person in your life? Why was this person in your life? Just as well, time is not real anyways, so we're asking why is this person in your life? All my decks have been pre-shuffled and cleansed. You know, with Group 1, because with my pick-a-cards, I like to kind of go with the flow. Just do whatever I feel called to do. So Group 1, you are always my group where I kind of set the frame of the reading. So I know that I'm going to pull 6 to 8 tarot cards, but then we will see what oracle cards we feel like pulling. Okay, for Group 1, why is this person in your life? Wow, that was fast. We have the Four of Swords. We have the Death card. I'm immediately getting that this person is helping you put something to rest. Put something literally to bed. Put something to rest. It may be some kind of unhealthy attachments. I'm being drawn to take a close look at this photograph over this person's bed, and it looks like a mother with her young child. So it might be some kind of parental issues or conditioning that this person is helping you put to rest. Did the Five of Wands come out? I feel like this person is also helping you, or meant to. I don't think it's easy. I think that this person was meant to trigger you in certain ways to release versions of you that you've still held on to, that you don't have a purpose for anymore. Yeah. I like this. This person was meant to trigger you into, it's kind of like with this Wheel of Fortune, I'm getting this imagery of like that first domino stone tipping over the rest. It's almost like, and that's, I don't mean to give them all the credit for whatever else. Oh, especially as I'm just setting down this deck, and at the bottom of the deck we have the Ten of Pentacles. I don't think that they deserve all the credit for all the good things that you will strive for and get to acquire because that first domino stone was knocked over by them. But it is part of that. They definitely deserve, and I don't think, see, there's some kind of defensiveness I'm feeling here, because I don't feel like you don't want to give them that kind of meaning. You don't want to ascribe to them that kind of potential, that kind of impact in your life. And that's why I feel strongly to say, like, that doesn't mean that everything you are going to build or acquire is because of them, but they're definitely a trigger that helped you kind of put something to rest. And I think even if you overcome out of spite, that is still like something that triggers you into action, you know? Like sometimes that happens, especially if I'm thinking of like the way that she's in bed, the Four of Swords. It feels like an energy of being broken up with or being left behind, being shut out of a friend group, and kind of just spending a lot of time on your own and wallowing a lot in that. And that may have then gotten you to a point where you're like, and now enough, like I'm not going to give them that kind of power over me. And that is almost something that triggers you into proving someone wrong or proving your worth in spite of. Like this almost feels like accomplishment in spite of someone. And that also applies if you do care a lot for this person, because sometimes when we have very intimate relationships, so especially like mother-daughter, when there's some kind of dependency, so it doesn't have to be a mother-daughter relationship, it can still be a friendship or a romantic relationship from the past or anything like that. Because whenever there's like a certain dependency that is established, I think there is this need to break free of that and to grow out of that dependency and to prove like I can create things and do things on my own. So even if you don't have negative feelings towards that person, I think subconsciously you might. I think subconsciously there's definitely a lot of, I'm going to do this to prove to them, especially if it is the kind of dependency where this person, oh, I'm getting a lot of information here. This person may have been, okay, if this is a friend or even if it is a former partner or a current partner, they might be the kind of person that points out certain things like, oh, you're wearing that? Oh, well, did you start doing this? Oh, have you tried doing that? When's the last time you went to the gym? Like, they might say certain things where it's like, ow, it really stings. And yet they don't mean to, but it's because of the position that they hold in your mind that their words are very impactful. Let's keep going. That was a lot of information just off of those cards. I also don't want to make these readings too long. Yeah, we have the Five of Cups. So that really kind of indicates that there was this breaking point of a relationship in some sense, no matter what category of relationship. Yeah, and once you've gone through that, it was like you're not going back to who you were before. There's no way you were going back because you went through, and oh, this is so interesting because it's like, why is this person in your life? And yet the first section of this reading is really telling me that it wasn't possibly so much this person, but possibly their absence. Like the absence of this person is something that had a huge impact on you. Which one? That wasn't clear. Or is two cards trying to come out? Let's do one at a time, please. For the Five of Wands. They're still giving me two. That was the Empress and the Eight of Swords. Okay, I will take it. The Empress and the Eight of Swords to me indicating that there was something, I'm still getting that imagery of the domino stones. Like there was something that had to like, there was a conflict that had to occur so that it would, oh wow, this imagery. So this conflict had to occur so that the first domino stone would fall. And then I'm seeing a long line of domino stones winding back and forth, almost so long that you don't even remember that first domino stone. It winds and winds and winds, and yet when it gets to the end of the last domino stone, it hits like a lock and it opens a gate. And that gate is you being able to feel empowered, going through that gate. And so, again, that is to say that it's not all on them. It's not because of them, but they triggered part of your journey. And then there were lots of other steps that came into play that then also built up to you being able to really feel empowered and feel satisfied. I mean, look at this transition going from this Five of Cups to the Empress, but underneath that we have the Eight of Swords, meaning that you always had access to this energy, but there were certain things that had to play out so that you would take that energy and like claim it. Yeah, look at, we have the Star. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the Hierophant. Yeah. I think this person may have triggered you in a spiritual journey. May have triggered you into a spiritual journey. Because of that dependency. And once that person that you projected your dependency on, which might have been a dependency that you've projected from somewhere else, from another source, from like family conditioning, that you kind of like just filled in with this person, like, oh, you fit the bill, I'm going to project my dependency issues onto you. And then once that fell away, it's like, I have nowhere to project this onto now. So it's just like you're just home alone, and it's literally just projecting onto the walls, and you have to face it, and you're seeing it. And as you're seeing it, you're recognizing, and you're actually working through it, and therefore you are then transmuting it. And then as you transmute it, that gives you the energy to get out of this bed and to move on and to step into your path, and then to feel this healing. This person is in your life or was in your life to trigger you. And I know that's so annoying. That is so annoying. Try and see if I'm getting anything else. Let's get some oracle. Actually, sorry. Almost always forgets. Let's get some dice. Oh yeah. We have the 8th house. We have Pluto. And we have Cancer. This is making me feel like this person was or is in your life to break you open. They are breaking you open. The 8th house is a very, very much a house of dependency and power struggles and enmeshment, codependency. And in Pluto, the 8th house is a Scorpio house, and Pluto is a modern day ruler of Scorpio. So both of those have a lot to do with power. And I think this person is in your life to show you where you are giving power away so that you can actually reclaim it. And that's what I said earlier, right? This recognizing of like, oh, right, I have that. And it has a lot to do with emotional blockages with this Cancer energy. And you may have in the past been close to figuring that out. Like you've been like, there's something here. Man, never mind. I don't have to focus on it right now. Like there might have been this flow of getting closer and closer to it. Now I'm still seeing that domino setup, but it's like a pendulum, you know. Sometimes those setups have like this pendulum that just goes and goes, and it's like, is it gonna hit it? Is it gonna hit it? And it's like you got really close to it sometimes to triggering it, And it's like this person came in to make that pendulum hit that first domino stone, and then that sets so much in motion. Let's get some oracle cards. It's interesting because I feel like I don't see a lot of sentimental energy from you. Like I don't think that you feel like this person had such, or is going to have such a huge impact on you. And that's the thing, like that's why I felt from the beginning, I don't want to give them all of the credit, because ultimately this leads towards, we had the 10 of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck, right? It leads to you being able to really stand in your power and create something for yourself out of your life. And that's not because of them. And I said that earlier, right? I know I said that before. It's not because of them, but they are a part. They are a domino stone in this. And again, I feel like that defensiveness of not wanting to give them that kind of credit might come from the fact that there is still some kind of like hurt feelings around that. We have intention. Lacking personal direction begets confusion, and life as a pawn to someone else's game of chess. And that is what I'm feeling with this. Even the colors are similar from this room. What I was saying earlier, that when there's that absence of being able to project things onto someone, and then they're absent and you project it onto you, like you see it without the person, then you start recognizing your patterns, then you start taking accountability. Lacking personal direction begets confusion, and life as a pawn to someone else's game of chess. And so that is when you're like, wait a minute, I actually have control. Once I recognize that I'm doing this because of conditioning, because of patterns, that's when you're like, oh wait, I can take a step back, realize when I am projecting, and I can understand, like, even though that person was the first domino stone, I'm the one that tells the universe which direction that line of dominoes goes. That sounds so silly. But you know, like, you're the architect. You are the architect is basically what this is telling you. You know, your intention sets the architecture of this journey. It really sets something in motion for you. And sometimes, oh, there's a quote that I really love, but I'm going to butcher it right now. But there's a quote about, I have learned patience from the impatient. I have learned, I really don't want to butcher it. So let me see if I can look it up real fast. But it's a beautiful quote about how we often aren't very thankful to our teachers that teach us the things that we didn't ask to learn. Let me get it. Yeah, that's what I thought. It's Khalil Gibran. And the quote is, I have learned silence from the talkative, toleration from the intolerant, and kindness from the unkind. Yet strange, I am ungrateful to these teachers. And that's kind of what I'm feeling. Like there's something that you're really learning through having to deal with this person, having this person in your life, but I don't know that you're going to be truly thankful. It's going to be difficult to kind of see that as like a positive influence, because it feels, at the time of it happening, I think it feels like a negative influence. We have awaken your vulnerability. And I think that kind of really speaks to awakening like your strength, because your vulnerability is also where are you not taking advantage of your strength? Where are you being passive, or where in the past have you been passive? I think it's going to be different for different people, but I think a lot of you have gone through this in the past. This is not something that's ahead of you. And so awaken your vulnerability was really like awaken yourself with this Eight of Swords to your power. Awaken where you have given away your power because of an avoidance of vulnerability. And protection. And at the bottom of the deck we have alchemy, meaning that this was a very it was a very calculated coming together on side of the universe. And that means that you were protected, and you might have felt at the whim of someone else, right? At the pawn of someone else's chess game, but it really was designed to awaken something in you, and you were protected throughout. And I'm also getting now, you know how people say rejection is divine protection? That's kind of what I'm hearing right now. So there is definitely something about things working out in your favor, even if at the beginning of this it didn't look like it. Because if we look at the bookends of this reading, we have the Four of Swords and the Five of Cups, very emotionally like heavy. And then we have the Wheel of Fortune and the Star. It's kind of like, don't worry. I just heard, don't worry, darling. But don't worry. Like, it's like spirit being like, trust that this is happening, maybe not in a way that you enjoy, but that it is ultimately happening for your greater good. Weaving flowers. You know what? I want to read the booklet for that. I really hate reading the booklet, but this deck in particular, I'm still getting to know it better. So sometimes that really brings out something that we want to underline. So weaving flowers, creator, art of the universe, integration. Here we see a woman gathering the delicate petals of blossoms and making them into flowers. It seems like she is weaving them together, bringing a greater whole into being. She is calm and concentrated on her work. This woman is a creator. She draws from the petals falling from the sky and growing from earth. Inspiration is all around. Gather it up to create a new whole. I think this really underlines that you are the architect of the domino setup, right? Somebody may have been that first domino, but you are the architect, and it's leading to really a refinement of who you are and a refinement of your true expression. So ultimately, this person came into your life, or this person will be coming into your life if this has not occurred yet. I feel like for most of you, this has already happened. For those that this has not yet happened, this is kind of like a fair warning that, you know, like try to bring awareness to the situation as you're going through it. This is the kind of situation where I feel like Spirit usually likes to talk in hindsight, because your awareness has already shifted and you're more able to take in information around it. Whereas if we're in the midst of it, a lot of times this kind of energy, we don't want to hear this, right? We don't want to hear that it's for our own good. So I think that's why this is really kind of like a hindsight reading. This is why this person is or was in your life. And that is also not to say that their position in your life can't change, right? But it does seem that there was some kind of situation that really kind of helped you, triggered you into putting something to rest, like I said at the beginning, and changed you. And when you change, your relationship to other people changes as well. So it's not, neither one of you is going to be the same after that. It's very powerful, but oftentimes the very powerful encounters that we have in life are not the most fun, right? But that's that 8th house energy, that is that Pluto energy. It's a deep transformation that is very necessary, and it's really going to bring you into a place of really being able to claim your abundance with this Empress energy. Don't want to forget the Empress energy, the star energy, the 10 of Pentacles that we had. There was like a refining that had to take place so that you can really claim your abundance. And again, that doesn't mean that they are the architect of your abundance. You are the architect of your abundance, but you needed that trigger to set you in motion. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. I hope that this was interesting. I hope it confirmed some things for you, and I do hope I get to read for you again sometime. Until then, take care. Hi, Group 2. This is your reading if you chose this lovely flower. Come on, there we go, with the pearl in the middle. So right off the bat, I feel compelled to say that we have a flower with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 petals. 5 indicating change, challenge. And then in the middle, we have this pearl that indicates wisdom and growth. So that is just something to keep in mind. We will see how that fits into your reading. So we were going to take a look at, why is this person in your life, the person on your mind, for Group 2. And it's getting fairly dark outside pretty quickly right now, so I have turned on a little light, hoping that that's enough. We'll see. That was an awful shuffle. Rest assured that my decks have been pre-shuffled, but I still like to get a good shuffle in before I start pulling cards. Okay, for Group 2, why is this person in your life? And again, time is relative. This can be a person of the past. It can be somebody that's just coming into your life. We have the 7 of Swords. We have the 9 of Swords. We have the Page of Cups. Usually I start talking after 2 cards, but I'm feeling compelled to get the last one of the row and then see, yeah, because I feel like there's a bigger picture here. Don't want to get distracted by the little stuff. Wow, yes. Okay. Why is this person in your life? This person is helping you mature emotionally. I think there are aspects when it comes to interpersonal relationships where you might have a tendency to self-sabotage, where you might have a tendency to not speak your mind. You don't speak up for yourself. When people hurt you or offend you, you don't speak up. And then you bear the cross. You carry that with you, and it strains your relationships. It causes trust issues. It causes, and this is relationships in all regards, right? Not just romantic. But there's a hesitancy to be vulnerable, and I feel like it probably comes from a desire to overcorrect, I think you probably want to fit into people's lives more easily, and you feel that if you have needs and hurts, that it makes it more difficult for you to fit into other people's lives. Oof, my goodness, I am being like overrun with this information. That's a lot. That's a lot. But then going to this Page of Cups, I feel like there is, and going back to why this person is in your life, I feel like there's something that they kind of spark emotionally. They might challenge you to stand up for yourself. Yeah, I think they're very challenging. And they might, we're going to pull more cards, but I think they might challenge you in in intellectual ways, or they might challenge you in ways where they really kind of ignite something in you that is very unusual for you. And that kind of brings you out of your comfort zone. Like, I feel like you really don't like to look at the fact that we have this 7 of Swords here, and then we have the 7 of Wands over on this end. This feels like not wanting to say your opinions out loud because you think people are going to take it too serious. You think people are going to be hurt by what I have to say. And I think this person really opens your mind up to debate and to the benefits of sharing different points of view and sharing that it's okay to have differing opinions and it is okay to have differing desires, because it's what makes human connection interesting. And then with this King of Cups at the bottom of the deck, it really kind of brings to mind this like emotional maturity that when they are in your life, it really kind of triggers like some kind of emotional maturity to start, and eventually this is where you are headed to feeling very emotionally in control and not like you're, you know, carrying this burden anymore. I don't know what that was. It's interesting because I do feel like this person, well, I already said that, I think. I was going to say this person does like push you out of your comfort zone in a way that I think you're like, no, this is where I stand up, but I can't. That's where I'm like, I'm going to see what the other cards have to say, because I can't tell if they're doing it kind of like in a guiding way or if they're doing it kind of like in a teasing way or in a way that really comes from conflict. Yeah, see, look at this Empress card. You are very... This is so interesting because I do feel that you are very emotionally mature, which is why you kind of overcorrect and overanalyze, but at the same time, this is interesting. This is a very interesting like flavor of energy, because on one hand you are very emotionally mature, but on the other hand you're emotionally naive. You're not, or before you met this person you weren't fully embracing your emotional maturity. It feels very much like the difference between being book smart and being street smart. Like, technically you have this potential of being very emotionally mature and very in control of your emotions, and you're just very nurturing, but it's to a fault, because your nurturing energy oversteps. You take on too much. It's like, especially because Thanksgiving just passed, right? It's like saying you're showing up to Friendsgiving, bringing the turkey and the mashed potatoes and the green beans, and like you're doing it all, when it's like the point of a Friendsgiving is to come together and everybody brings a dish, right? Everybody brings what they have to share. And I think before this person, you're very much like, oh, I don't want anyone else to be in that kind of position, so I'm just gonna not share. Like, it's very much, it feels like not giving people the opportunity to even help you because they don't know that you need help. And then in the meantime, you're feeling really sad because nobody's helping you. And then along comes this person and it triggers you into really kind of, into really standing up for yourself more. But let's take a look at how or why. See, we have the 10 of Cups come out with the Ace of Wands underneath this 9 of Swords, and it's like, how am I ever going, it's this feeling of like, how am I ever going to get to that point? And that's where this person comes in with this Ace of Wands, and it's like, by taking control, by not just, It's very interesting though, because again, we're going back to, it's the same words, but it's a different expression, right? Emotional maturity, but different emotional maturity. Taking control, but different control. Because this isn't you, before this person, you came from a place of taking control that is controlling. And this person challenges you to take control in a different way, to take control in a, because you came from a place that's like controlling to maintain status quo, to maintain situations as they were, to keep the balance, keep the harmony, don't rock the boat. And this is very much like, no, take control to make movement towards what you want. This is very much going towards, like, this person is teaching you about, like, what do you want? What do you desire? And that's not to say that this person is going to tell you what you want, but this person is going to empower you to for you to face that what you want is of importance, that it's just as important as other people's wants and needs, that your desires are just as important as everyone's. And just because you are very highly emotionally aware, and possibly more aware than others, doesn't mean that you have to make up for that in any case, but you don't have to make up for that by stifling your desires because you're aware that other people have desires that might be in direct conflict with yours. It's like, imagine you know that your best friend really, oh, okay, this is very, I was going to take it somewhere else. I was just going to make it about a book, but Spirit is pushing me. So imagine you know that your best friend has a crush on a guy, and you also have a crush on that same guy. But you're just very observant and aware, emotionally aware, until you notice, like, oh, she really likes him. Well, guess that I'll just leave it at that because she really likes him. And let's say it's not even like a crush that's been going on forever. Let's just say it's like at a party, you see someone and you're like, oh, that guy is really cute, or that girl is very cute. And your friend sees them too, and you just know your friend so well that you can tell they're immediately interested in them. But what about your interest? Like, don't just give up your interest just because you noticed that your friend is interested in that person as well. Because what it comes down to is, are you interested in them? Is that person interested in you? Like, why do you make a decision before anything has even played out? And that's kind of where this person is like teaching you, like, no, sometimes you've gotta do uncomfortable things or things that rock the boat a little bit because your desires matter just as much as anyone else's. Yep. That's exactly, I didn't even, sometimes I get ahead of myself and then I worry that I'm going off on a tangent, but then the next card comes out and it literally just says exactly what I just said. That is the star card. This is like this inner spark being awakened within you, that it's okay for you to go after what you want, that your hopes, your wishes, your dreams matter just as much as the people that you love. That they matter just as much as those of the people that you love. I think this person is going to introduce you to this in a very loving way, in a very, I don't think this is coming from conflict, but I think it's going to cause conflict within you because it's going to be uncomfortable for you. It's something that you're not used to. And it might cause, especially because of the scenario that I just explained, it might cause conflict with your existing relationships, so friendships or family, because then suddenly you're going to be standing up for yourself in ways that they aren't used to. So it will cause conflict in a way, but I don't think that this comes from conflict from this person. But let's see what comes out with the Seven of Wands. I feel like I was talking a mile a minute there. Wow, what's going on? What about the Seven of Wands? There we go. And there's the Knight of Wands. Yeah, this is not, I don't think this is coming through conflict. I think this person is really kind of igniting a desire in you. And to be quite honest, we have the Knight of Swords at the bottom of the deck now. To be quite honest, I think this might even be a desire that kind of is ignited in a physical way for you. So meaning they might actually open you up to passion in a very different way. Like you might have had a very specific idea of, this is the kind of person that I'm looking for, this is the kind of person that I want. And then this person comes in and it's a lot less, I don't want to say romantic, but that's kind of what I'm getting. Like it's a lot less romantic, but it's more passionate. So again, we're going from book smart to street smart. Like it feels like having fantasies about what a relationship would feel like, or like being, but the fantasies are very removed from the actual passion of the friction that happens between two people that are passionately in love and stuck in a room together. Like there's like this very removed sense of love, and then there's this very fiery sense of love. And so this person, through their fiery, passionate energy, might really kind of ignite you to be really more confident about yourself, right? Like their attraction to you might also ignite a lot of confidence and a lot of like, yeah, like I do, like I should put myself first, just like this person is putting me first. It's very interesting. Like it definitely, like, this person is in your life to change your perspective on yourself. But at the same time, I want to clarify that your perspective on yourself isn't dependent on them. It really just kind of gives you, I feel like, because you in the past have been very controlling about how people see you, again, not rocking the boat, like overreaching in situations of interpersonal relationships, and then it comes to this person and they don't let you overreach. And so when you don't overreach and you don't overcompensate, then you get to just embrace your position. And when you just get to embrace your position, you're like, oh wait, yeah, people can do stuff for me too. And I get to have needs and wants too. And that really kind of then aligns you a lot closer to your 10 of Cups, because previously it's like, how am I ever going to get there? Because you're very kind of removed from it, because you weren't in a position where you were actually going after what you wanted, because you were putting other people's wants before your own. And this person is really going to, they want to know, what are you passionate about? What are you excited about? And almost like in a very sexy way, like in a way where it's like, okay, but what would bring you to the point of going a little crazy? That's very specific, but that's what I'm feeling, because I think you repressed a lot previously. Like if somebody offended you or hurt your feelings, I said that in the beginning, right? That you would take it in and then you kind of just internalize it and deal with it in private. And they want to know, like, how far can someone push you until you push back? Ooh. And again, I don't think they do that in conflict. I think they do that with like banter and in a very like sexy way, in a very enticing way, not in a way that makes you, and that I think alone is something that is gonna make it less uncomfortable for you. But in the beginning, it is gonna feel like, wait, are they being like, why are they being so mean to me? And it's like, no, they're not being mean. I'm not trying to apologize for anyone being rude to you. No, you're still an empress, right? You don't have to take just whatever you're given. But I do feel that there's something about them that is very provocative. That's the word I'm looking for. They're very provocative. And I think they're drawn to you because they're like a little entertained And that doesn't mean that they're not drawn to you for lots of other reasons. But one aspect I think is the fact that it's a little bit entertaining to them that you are exploring a new aspect of yourself. I've had okay, it's popped up in my head twice now, and I didn't want to say it earlier because it felt really corny. But I am getting like a little bit, and I never read the books, and I only watched like one of the movies, I think. It's not my cup of tea, but I'm getting a little bit, just a slight tinge of like 50 Shades of Grey vibes, but not necessarily all of like the sexual aspects, but more so the fact how he, and I don't like the patriarchal aspect of a man like helping a woman explore her sexuality, but it is more so like this person, no matter the gender, is a person that is really going to bring you, and it doesn't have to be sexual at all if this is someone else that you're thinking of, but this person is really like coaxing you out of your shell in private, just within their relationship, but that really bleeds into your confidence level in every relationship. Oh my goodness, I completely went overboard talking about this spread. Let's get to the oracle cards. Let's roll the astro dice first. So very interesting. I think it's going to be somewhat uncomfortable for you at first, but then I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and then it's going to be like you really exploring like, okay, like how it's like going from book smart to street smart, and then once you've combined the two, it's like you're unstoppable. Oh yes, okay, this is why is the first thing that pops into my mind was that's hot. Because we have the first house, we have Libra, and we have Venus. Libra is ruled by Venus, and the first house, it's like, this is all about you. Oh, this is hot. I'm sorry. If this is a person, oh my God, I'm like blushing a little bit right now because I'm looking at this flower again. It's literally a flower and a pearl in the middle. I'm sorry, this took a turn. This definitely took a turn. If this is not a person that you are sexually attracted to, then take it as just passion. But right now, this is a very heated reading, because we have Venus and Libra ruled by Venus, the first house. This person is about putting you first. They are teaching you how to put yourself first. Again, in some cases, this might be through pushing you to a point where you're like, and now I've had enough, now I'm putting myself first. But I think in a lot of cases, for a lot of you, this is a person that really wants you to feel good, if you catch my drift. Especially with this Ace of Wands and this freaking pearl and the Venus, the sensuality, the passion. The first house, it's about you. They want to make it about you. They want you to focus on what do you want, what brings you pleasure, what makes you excited, and not for you to put someone else's pleasure ahead of your own. Ooh la la. Sorry. I gotta read the cards the way they come out. Or the energy, I should say. Gotta read the energy the way it comes out. Because the cards aren't necessarily, well, that Ace of Wands is pretty phallic, but the cards themselves aren't necessarily, you know, it's the energy. It's definitely the energy. Oh my God. I just got a glimpse of it and I'm already excited. Ooh, friend. My friends, this is a very, if this person is not in your life yet, you have something to look forward to, I think. If this person is in your life and you're very confused at this point, if you feel like you're in the beginning stages of this being very confusing to you, let me tell you that this is about you really opening up. We have forgiveness. Hurt blocks our light. But I want you to pay attention to just the imagery. Look at her grabbing her chest. Wow, this is the first time that I'm looking at this card and I'm thinking, wait a minute, that hand doesn't even look like her hand. It looks like a very masculine hand, which is interesting because even if it is her hand, if it's depicted as very masculine, that can still be like the inner masculine, right? And it's grabbing her heart, which is also her chest though, and it's like bringing light to what is your desire. Hurt blocks our light. Hurt being like this hurt that you've put yourself through, like this you almost like denied yourself something. And that's why I feel like, and take it as it resonates, but that's why I'm getting all this sexual energy, because it almost feels like having denied yourself passion and then being introduced to it in a very exciting way. And that doesn't have to be through sexuality, but that's the energy that I'm receiving. So that's the sacral energy, right? That can also show up as very other things. That can just show up as a desire to create. This can easily, if it's not about a passionate relationship, this can be the kind of person that really wants you to create something that is out of your comfort zone. So if you're an artist, this would be someone that really, you know, your technique is there. You understand the subject, but they really bring the passion into you so that you can like integrate it into your art. So yeah, forgiveness. Hurt blocks our light. Forgiveness is also about, just because the direction, forgiveness is also about forgiving yourself, about, you know, the past in which you may have not stood up for yourself. And also pay attention to the light here and the light from the star here. There's definitely something about you really like intimately getting to know a new aspect of yourself in whichever capacity that applies. Okay, this card wants out, so we will take it. Examine your integrity. Examine your integrity is asking you to be more authentic, and that plays in very nicely with these first cards, that concept that we're talking about. You not fully standing up for yourself, because this is asking you, where are you performing? Where in your life are you acting out in a way that you think other people want you to appear? And that's where this person is really going to shed some light on that. Ooh, shed some light, literally. Yeah, it almost feels like this person is a spotlight. Oof, honestly, I do strongly feel like this person is really going to want you to shine, because they see that you that you're a really wonderful person and that you hide that a lot, and they, I think, will feel a lot of excitement of getting to know that, like having a treasure for yourself, especially with that pearl. Oh my God, think about the way that pearls are harvested, where we get pearls, right? They're in these kind of ugly little, hidden away in these ugly little clams. I don't even know if that's the right word, but I think so. And like knowing, if you didn't know where they came from, you would never think to look there, right? And so this person, I think, is very excited because they see something in you that possibly other people don't see. Oh, catching blossoms. That is a beautiful card. Catching blossoms is enjoy yourself, have fun. This person really is going to introduce you to a lot of self-indulgence in the best way. Oh, that card went flying. Let me pick it up. We have Flower Spirit. Oh, along with Catching Blossoms, that goes well together. Let's look it up in the booklet. I'm still getting to know this deck, and I found that the little Descriptors are very helpful because they're pretty short. Flower spirit, friendship, soul, tenderness, joy. This card shows the tender and sensitive flower fairy, the soul of each plant. She listens with all of her heart to her friends, that's you, with all of her heart, and provides a soothing caress when their edges get prickly. By enjoying life and keeping the playfulness in her heart, enjoying yourself, she is a source of inspiration and joy. Her childlike vision helps her see the good in all things, especially herself. Do you hear that? Especially yourself. And that's the thing, like, I think you do provide a lot of stability to a lot of other people, and this person is in your life to show you that you too can benefit from that energy, from that beautiful energy that you provide for other people so much, by releasing a lot of that pent up energy. Okay? Oof. Can you please let me know what this is like in real life? Because this is a very, again, if it's not a romantic situation, it's still a very motivating thing, and it still has sensuality and passion to it. Sensuality and passion doesn't always have to lead to sexuality, but I pick up a lot of that in this reading, and a lot of it comes from probably this Libra. It's really just about like enjoying yourself and really leaning into pleasure. So I hope that that's something that you are experiencing and embracing, catching blossoms. Yeah, let me know if this resonates. And other than that, I hope you enjoy it, and I hope I get to read for you again sometime. Take care. Hi, Group 3. This is your reading. If you chose this lovely fairy, let's focus. Thank you. It was getting dark outside really quickly, so I turned on some lights in here. But let's get right into your reading. We're taking a look at why is this person in your life? Let's take a moment to recognize that time is relative, so this might be a person that was in your life previously. Might be a person that's just coming into your life. But why is this person in your life? Let's see. For pile 3. For 3. We have the Two of Wands. If you hear some noises in the background, my cat is currently waking up from a nap and playing with a little ball. We have the Queen of Wands. Immediately I'm getting the sense that this person is in your life to really expand your horizon a lot. A lot. Like, really, like you might travel with this person. And again, I want to emphasize that this doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. This can also be a friendship or family. Apply it whichever way it resonates. But I am feeling that this person, perhaps if you don't travel with them, you travel in your mind. It might also be kind of like a long distance kind of situation. But like you travel, you go through different backdrops. That sounds very particular, but that's kind of what I'm seeing. Like you experience each other through different phases, possibly. I think you're also very motivating to each other. Yeah, you learn a lot together. We have the Knight of Swords. Why is this person in your life? Oops, that's 2 cards come out, but we will take them because we have the Page of Wands and then we have the 6 of Wands. Very interesting, because this is like the fact that they came out together feels kind of like a transitional vibe. Like that within, I think this is the kind of relationship, again, no matter what shape the relationship takes in your life, I think this is the kind of relationship that really holds up for a long time. So you might have known this person for a long time already. And I feel like you either know each other when you're still very young and at the beginning of something, and then you still know each other when you're very, when you've matured and you're accomplished in something. And it might be that you've known them since they started something small and now they're doing pretty well. Along with this King of Cups at the bottom of the deck, very nice energy. I think you guys really kind of possibly from a distance have watched each other grow and maybe cheered each other on. I also get the sense that your thoughts come back to one another. Your thoughts come back to one another. So whether that's one of you, because I do kind of feel like their thoughts come back to you. They might feel a sense of having something to prove to you. Like they might... There is this distance, right? And there is this distance also time-wise. So it's either or it's and. So there might be physical distance and time distance, meaning like you've known each other for a long time, or it's just physical distance, or like any of those combinations, right? But I do feel like they held you in high regard at some point in time and felt motivated by you, by just your existence. They felt motivated by just your existence to be like, okay, I wanna like be able to live up to this person's, not even your expectations, but kind of what they think you deserve. And again, this doesn't have to be romantic, because this can also be, I could also see this, I don't want to like gross you out if you're thinking about something romantic right now, but I could also see this being a sibling, like being like, oh, like you've known each other throughout your life and you hold each other in high regard, or your sibling holds you in high regard and wants to live up to making you proud. That's what I'm getting, like the sense of wanting this person, no matter who they are, they want to make you proud. They want you to see them in a very specific light. But now let's get some more cards to see more specifically why they are in your life, though. Because this is very much like, this is a lot of their energy. We want to get what's the lesson for you here? Interesting. There's a couple cards right now that wanted to come out but didn't fully come out. Like it's like, this, maybe this, like very kind of hesitant energy. Like this, no, maybe this, no. We have the Five of Wands. And interesting how I literally just said like very hesitant energy, and then now we have a card that's very conflicted energy, right? So it's kind of like you guys possibly needed some space because there was some kind of conflict, very literal, or because there was conflicting energy of like, what does this connection mean to each other? Who are we in relation to one another? This is so interesting because I'm getting a lot. The other readings were very much like focused on who I'm reading for, which is you. And this energy, I think, is very much like they are very almost concerned about how you view them, and they really want to live up to you. Like your standard, your expectations doesn't feel right. It's just living, I want to live up to you. And they want to be able to see, with this Two of Wands, we have this Five of Wands, and then with this Queen of Wands, we have the Eight of Wands. So there's like this distance of like trying to figure it out. Like, how can I make sense of this connection. Like, why do they sometimes like confuse me? And then your energy being a very steady energy, and them really wanting to get their shit together, wanting to move towards you in a way that will actually have an impact. Yeah, look at that. We have the King of Coins. This person really wants to like impress you. I'm still not getting your lesson in this, which, I mean, that's fine, but it's just very different from the other readings so far. Because it feels very much like what you are sitting pretty. This is your energy. Whether you are female or male, your gender doesn't matter, because we all have masculine and feminine energy within us, and I can just sense that this is the energy. This is like the center of the reading. Everything around this is their energy kind of like spiraling around you. And they want to get to a point of being really stable so that they can show up for you in a specific way. But this reading is not showing me anything about your journey, which is very interesting. But you have to know how it resonates. You might, it might be flipped the way I'm reading the energy. So you might be this person and you're trying to really get to a point of living up to someone else. Wow, okay. We have the Nine of Cups at the bottom of the deck. Okay, I'm getting a little bit more of a lesson now. But I still kind of feel like it's about them. But you have to know how this resonates. We have the Devil come out under this Page of Wands and the Six of Wands. And so I've actually never gotten the Devil in this deck. Very impressive. That is so funny. As I was saying it, before, because there's all this information, when I see the cards come out, all this information comes streaming in, and then like, okay, I have to like bring it into a sentence, right? And so even before that, I thought they really want to impress you. And then I'm like totally, it works. I'm totally like, I'm sitting here like, wow, look at this card. It's so impressive. But there might be, here's the kicker. I think they really want to impress you, but they might be misled. Both of you, this is, again, this kind of depends on whatever feels right for you, but there is a lesson here around being focused or being distracted by the wrong things. Like they want to, in pursuit of wanting to appeal to someone, kind of forgetting that what it really comes down to is like actually making a connection, and actually like they're very calculated in a way. I think this might cause confusion for you, and that's why you're asking, right? That's why you're here. That's why we're asking, like, why is this person in your life? Because I think they get distracted. And that's why I'm getting like this sense of almost like siblings. Again, I don't mean to gross anyone out in case you're thinking of someone in a more romantic sense, but I'm getting like this sense of pride and the sense of like not actually paying attention to the fact that this person, whoever they are, is very accepting of the person, the other person, on a very like holistic way. It's like, just come as you are. But that person cannot come as they are. They're like, no, I need to be a full person. I need to be a whole person. And so much so that it kind of keeps them, that it keeps them from you. It keeps them away. It keeps them distant, because there's like this invisible sense of expectation in themselves. It's very frustrating, actually. It's a very frustrating energy because it's like, how can we make them even see that? And that's what I'm feeling. Like, you struggle to make them understand that, like, I'm accepting of you. Like, the Queen of Wands is very empowered and very driven, and it's like the Queen of Wands doesn't need her king to show off. He does. The King of Wands is a very showy kind of guy, but she doesn't need him because she can create this on her own too, right? The Queen of Wands is not looking for someone who's going to pay her bills. She can do that. But this person is very much like, oh, the Queen of Wands? No. I need to come correct. And so much that it creates kind of like a barrier. And that has a lot to do with their ego. That has a lot, that's why we have the devil here. That has a lot to do with them being distracted by surface level things. But at the same time, we have this progression of it being a driving factor for them, and that kind of motivates them. But then there is still this distance because it feels like, it does kind of feel like they have you on a pedestal, and it just creates this distance because it's like, okay, so then you become the reason, you become the motivation, but you might never feel that, right? You might never really feel like there's still something very egoic about it. And I think that might be frustrating to you. Let's get some astro dice. I hope that this makes sense because I'm having a hard time explaining it, but I'm feeling it. Like, it's like very much like you wondering, like, do you even see me? Like, I will take you as you are because that's the kind of person I am. You don't have to show up any specific kind of way. And then being very much like, oh no, I gotta make sure that I show up right, and like still not hearing it. There's kind of like this disconnect. And that's because they have something to figure out on their end, which is still interesting because, again, I'm not feeling, there's this person, I feel like you might be a lesson to them. I think that's maybe why it's different, because I feel like the last two readings, it was kind of clear that the person that the reading was about the other person being a trigger, a lesson for them. And here it almost feels like I think you are a lesson for this other person. And it's like you're not even doing anything to trigger that. You're just existing. Let's see. Let's see what else comes up. Oh, yes. We have the 10th house, we have Cancer, and we have Venus. The 10th house is the highest point in our chart. And that's exactly it. They want this 6 of Wands is very much 10th house energy. They want to like be successful, and especially with this King of Coins as well. There's this drive to show up in your life only when they are at their best. Because when they're like not at their best, they feel like you would judge them or you would like not accept them. But there's some emotional aspect to that. That's why we have this Cancer energy. And it might also be that they are the kind of energy that kind of comes in and out of your life. And then we have Venus, which really is kind of like Venus is a beautiful energy to have, but it's a very beneficial energy within this connection. And yet there is some, with this devil that I'm being drawn to again, I think there's some issues around pride. There's some issues around, especially with this 9 of Cups as well, and the 6. This trifecta here with the Venus card is kind of like, it's a sense of pride, being prideful, but not in a sexy way. Being prideful in a way where it's like you're not focusing on the right things. Oh, you know what I'm getting? This is so random. This is so random, and I'm not going to be able to piece it together because it's been forever since I watched that. I think it's it's going to sound so awful. I think it's Shrek 2. In one of the Shreks where Shrek becomes human, because he's like, well, maybe if I'm a human and I'm attractive, like maybe things will be better. That kind of thing, where it's like, Fiona doesn't care. Fiona loves you. Like, whether you're Shrek or, you know, whether you're an ogre or your form doesn't matter. But that's where this pride comes in, this kind of like this sense of like, oh, I'm not enough just as I am. And that can be really frustrating to deal with on the other end, right? And so you might set up boundaries in place sometimes because you're like, oh my God, not this again. I don't want to deal with this. Like, just go figure your stuff out yourself. Let's pull some oracle cards. And again, you have to know, I feel the energy is very much centered around this Queen of Wands, but you have to know which side applies to you. Flip it. If you think that you might be that kind of person that is distracted by pride and that feels the need to kind of like be a certain way in order to show up for someone else, then, you know, then that might be you. No? Give me one card, please. This one. Oh my goodness. Yeah. We have distorted desire. Conscious desire rarely satisfies the unconscious need driving it. This is so interesting because I really strongly feel this is their energy. Like conscious desire, wanting to show up a certain way, rarely satisfies the unconscious need driving it, which is wanting your acceptance, which I feel like they already have. So like, what's the show for? But at the same time, it's like the show is something that's driving them in life, right? And that's why I do feel like you are actually a trigger point for them. You are a lesson for them, something that drives them into overdrive. That puts them into overdrive so that they actually like show up in their life as a driving force. But I feel like at some point they're going to take a look back and realize like, yeah, I've accomplished a lot, but you didn't ask for that. Like, you would have taken me at any step, right? But at the same time, they've created that distance, so there might not be a point where you actually overlap, you know? There might not be a point of union or coming fully face to face and fully embracing that. Might not. Not saying there aren't any absolutes here, but I could see that being a point of issue where it's like you never actually see face to face until it's like possibly even too late. Ooh, we have transform anger and create boundaries. You know what, this bottom card I think plays in very well, because look at how these people are facing each other. They're facing each other's masks, one of them holding up a mask, the other really just mirroring back that mask, even though it does show them. Like that's exactly what this feels like. It's like, well, if you're not recognizing that I will take you as you are, then I'm just going to perform. There's a lack of authenticity here. But it comes from a desire, distorted desire, from a desire to want to please the other person. Both ways, I think. And so because there's a lack of authenticity and because you're not meeting each other, right? I said that, like meeting each other. Because you're not meeting each other face to face, it brings like this resentment, this like anger of like, oh, you don't get it. Like, I didn't want any of that. I wanted you. Like, I wanted to spend time with you. I didn't need you to be any particular way. I wanted to be authentic with you and you be authentic with me. And so transform anger, I think, is just asking you in this position, again, if this is centered around you and this other person is gaining a lesson from you, it's asking you for patience, and patience around the situation when they come up, when they come into your life, anytime where they're like, when they come up and they kind of like want to show off on something, like something that they just accomplished, it might, you know, it might be like really kind of irritating to you, because you're like, okay, yeah, like I'm really happy for you, but why do you only come to me when you have something to show off? It's asking you for some patience around that, because they are really, you're a strong driving force for them. Wow. You're you are a strong driving force in their life. And that comes with a pedestal. Oh my goodness. That comes with a pedestal. And I don't think you're very happy on that pedestal. Because you're like, okay, what am I going to do with that? I want to have a actual authentic connection, not this distance. So you even hear that distance represented. Let's get another oracle card. Yeah, I do think, again, apply it as it fits, but I do think that you are actually a, yeah, who's there? Oh my goodness. That's exactly the same kind of imagery, you know, this mirror. And who's there is really like you wanting to be authentic with them. And it kind of, the irritation, I think, is when they're not authentic with you, when you can sense that they're not fully authentic, that they're performative, then you don't feel comfortable being authentic with them, which I think is what you want. And so then it's like, well, who am I performing for here? Who are you performing for? And I don't think they see it that way. They don't recognize how much they actually limit this situation. They limit this situation a lot. And I think you are like sitting there on this pedestal and are like, I don't want to be limited like this, but you keep doing this. Wow. Sorry, I didn't mean to Owen Wilson wow there, but it just comes out. That's frustrating. I can feel your frustration. And so again, transform your anger. Like, don't recognize that this is not something that you are asking them to do, that you are actively doing, that unfortunately you are somewhat a means of projection to them, possibly. And it is on them to kind of figure that out at some point, and I think they will. They're very, because again, at the same time, you're a motivating drive in their life, and I think once they reach a certain point where they feel, okay, this is enough, then they'll really take stock, and I think they will recognize a lot of things. But you know, at that point, you're not going to be sitting on that pedestal still. You're going to be off living your own life. Okay, let's get one last oracle card. Yeah, look at that. The perfect key. At the bottom of the deck, we have, can you hear me? And that's exactly that. I feel like and look at this feeling of like feeling stuck. I think you don't feel fully seen, and again, that's because they're not showing up fully authentic, because they want to show up in the best light. And so because of that, because they don't show up fully authentic, you don't feel like they receive you authentically either. Let's take a look at what the booklet has to say about the perfect key. Happiness, encouragement, unlock feelings. This card shows a woman holding a key in one hand and a cage with a heart in the other. There is a bird sitting on the woman's shoulder, encouraging her to try different keys with his mouth. Yet the woman has already found the perfect fitting key. She can open the cage and open her heart. Sometimes life is only a search for the right key. There are so many things that are hard for us to approach. We can have trouble assessing our own feelings. Thanks to friends and family, there are people who can help us find the lost keys to our personal happiness. Interesting. If you feel strongly drawn to this person, like if you feel like this is my person and they are creating this distance, then again, they're asking you to transform your anger, and I think they're asking you to be more vulnerable with them, because there's a lot of pride involved here, right? We already talked about that, especially with the 10th house and this Cancer energy. There's a lot of like, well, I'm just going to show you what you're showing me. And so if this really, I think you are a lesson for this person. If you really want this to reach a different level of authenticity, you're being asked to initiate that with this card, with the perfect key. You're being asked to open up your vulnerability and let that be known so that they can recognize where they are being prideful. Because I think they have you on, again, they have you on such a pedestal. They're not going to recognize that, because they think they're doing what they're supposed to. They think they're doing the right thing here. And to you, it almost feels like dehumanizing. That's a little bit out there, but it's just like you don't feel seen, you don't feel heard. And so if you want this to just let it run its course, then focus on your life, do your own thing, let them figure it out. But if you actually are invested in this connection and you want that authenticity that you crave, then I think you're going to have to really be bold in your authenticity so that they can follow suit. Because that's the thing, I think they will follow your lead. Even though they seem very like set on like showing up a certain way, they will follow your lead. They really also appreciate your energy and your mind. Like they really appreciate a lot about you. And so again, I think you hold a lot of power over them, and you don't exercise it a lot, which is good, because we don't need to be exercising power over others. They shouldn't be giving you all that power. But that is to say that I think with the flick of your wrist, you could change this whole situation. And that is a lot of responsibility. So you really kind of have to figure out, what do you want out of this situation? That's why this reading is showing up the way it's supposed to, because there is a lot of responsibility in how you relate to them. What do you want out of this is kind of like the focus here in the end. Because what you want out of this can really change the direction. But I'm really being called to point out how this woman is looking. She doesn't look happy with this kind of responsibility. Which again, not feeling happy about the pedestal, right? There's a lot of responsibility in that. And so you need to figure out what you want so that you can act accordingly. And the more authentic you show up in this connection, the more authentic they will follow your suit. Okay, that got a little bit heavy in the end, but that's because I think the oracle cards were then more focused on you, right? We talked a lot about them, and then this kind of pulled it all together for me, at least. So I hope it made sense to you. Yeah, I hope that was helpful. I do hope I get to read for you again sometime, and then until then, take care. Hi Pile 4, this is your reading if you chose this gorgeous explosion. Almost feels like an explosion of passion to be quite honest. It has gotten dark outside, so I had to turn on some lights. But we are going to jump into your reading right now. We're going to take a look at why is this person in your life? And let's just remind ourselves that time is relative, so this can be a person from the past, even if they aren't in your life anymore. This could also be a person that hasn't quite found their way into your life yet, or that is just recently stepped into your life. So we are going to take a look at why is this person in your life. Let's see what comes out for group 4. We have the Queen of Wands. Oh, we have 2 cards come out. We have the Fool and we have the Hanged Man together. We'll keep them together. I think immediately I'm getting like a little bit of a fun vibe. Like they're in your life to, it feels like a breath of fresh air. Breath of fresh air? I think so. And it feels like they admire you. Oh my god, 2 cards. You're obviously going to get extra cards. We have the 8 of Wands and the Justice card. I just heard delayed justice. And one more for this row. Oh my god, can you stop? I will take them. Don't tell the other groups. You're getting a ton of extra cards. We have the 2 of Cups. Love that. And the Star. Oh my god, I love that. Okay. Okay, also don't tell the other groups that I'm telling you this, but so far we haven't really had any reading that was like blatantly romantic. Like there was love, there was passion, but this not the fire truck coming by. That's hilarious. That was a confirmation for sure, because this is looking to me like romance. And I kind of got the sense, like when I was preparing the decks, this deck, if any deck is going to give me romance, it's this deck for sure. But even this, like this explosion, right? There's like this, like the Big Bang. I am just hearing that song, that the Big Bang. Sorry, I hate when I sing in these because I don't mean to, but it just comes out. Okay, anyways, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. I love this. I love this. I really love this. I'm sorry. This is maybe how you're feeling, like a little bit eager, because I don't know why I'm like, my energy just like got a little all over the place. Why is this person in your life? These last 2 cards. Wait, I didn't even see what's at the bottom. Oh my god. We have the Magician at the bottom of the deck. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Okay. Fine. I'm not jealous at all. Oh my god. They are goofy. I think they make you laugh. I think they make you chuckle. They might make you chuckle at them, like their behaviors, their like things they say. You might just be like, oh god. Like it might make you cringe at times. This person is in your life for like a good dose of romance. Absolutely, that's what I'm seeing. If you're not inquiring about a romantic situation, then this person, like if it's a friend, then this person is meant to give you just as much love, because not all love has to be romantic in nature, right? There's platonic love, there's family love. Like this is really kind of like a very soothing experience. And I will say, you had it coming. We have the Magician at the bottom of the deck. This is something that you've been asking for. And it feels very, like you two feel very connected. I just heard same but different, especially with this Two of Cups. Same but different. Like there's something about you that's elementary, very like similar, and yet you might look very different, or you might have very different interests, but there's some kind of component that really connects you in a very meaningful way. I think in order to get to this point, there's been a lot of like self control and self like governing that's happened. So I think you've really kind of focused on you for a while, and then there's something where it's like this is new. This feels new. If you're asking about a person from your past, sorry, I'm just trying to not project. I'm trying to be very open to the message. And so if you are asking for about a person from your past, use discernment, because if what I'm saying so far applies, then yes. If that is a past situation that completely feels like it's run its course and you're hoping for it to be revived, then no. But if this is a person where something in the past never took off, or it didn't end well, but now you're coming together as new people, then I think that is a possibility. Because this Fool definitely talks about a new journey, but this Hanged Man also talks about a new journey and being well aware of how much you've changed, how much they are different from what you're used to. So whether that's different from what you're used to them being in the past, or different from what you're used to like other people from your past. There's something about I know, I heard something weird earlier. I forgot now what it was, but now I heard expedited shipping. Oh yeah, I heard delayed justice, right? And now I heard expedited shipping for this justice and this Eight of Wands, because the Eight of Wands is fast movement, but it is also energy that wants to ground. And it's almost like this Justice card, it's like Spirit being like, okay, we're expediting the shipping on this because it's been delayed. It's like you ordering something, especially because of the Magician. Let's say you ordered something and it was supposed to arrive on a certain date and it didn't arrive. And you're like, excuse me, customer support. Hi, I paid for 7-day shipping and my item did not arrive. What's going on, Spirit? And Spirit being like, let me take a look. Okay, yeah, okay. I see your order right here. You know what? I'm going to expedite this for you. And then it lands and, oh my God, it lands and boom, the big bang. This is such cute energy. I just kind of want to like stare at these cards and soak it in. The Two of Cups with the Star. The Star is wish fulfillment and healing and emotional healing. And the Two of Cups is two people really coming together and facing each other and really like enjoying each other's company and appreciating each other. And look at the way their hair and these mermaids, their hair is like coming together to form a little bow. It's like a real like coming together, like growing together, creating roots with one another. Let's get some more cards, even though you got extra, but we're supposed to have another row here, so let's keep going. The Queen of Wands. Ooh, sexy. We have the World. Look at this World card. I love her. A voluptuous world, as she should be. Look at her. With this Queen of Wands, that is talking about the cycle that I was saying earlier. Like, I feel like there's a lot of work that you've done on yourself where you're like, you picked yourself up from something. And that is a cycle that you completed and that you can be very proud of, and that they will acknowledge as well, where it's like, wow, yeah, you have done a lot of work on yourself. You are very aware. And then look at this, the Tower. The Tower along with this Fool and the Hangman. That's why I feel like it's new. It's like not... The Tower is an energy of the Big Bang, first of all, but the Tower is an energy that really kind of shakes up your foundation and gets rid of anything that you don't need going forward, which can be disorienting at times. But in this case, it feels very much like, sorry, no. I just got a very, very strong smell of something, and I have a scented candle on, and I just showered earlier, and I have a new shampoo, but that's not it. No, I just got a what was that? Sorry, I'm just trying to see if I can pick anything up. It was like a very strong, like earthy, musky, but floral. I have no idea what that was. As I'm trying to focus, I don't know why, but I'm seeing walnuts. Oh, I'm seeing walnuts, and I'm being brought back energetically to like Christmas time. Also, it's dark outside right now, so that helps. But like Christmas time at my grandma's house, and we would collect walnuts and chestnuts. I might have just smelled chestnuts. That is a sign for someone. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be this distracted, but that was very particular. It might literally be like chestnuts roasting on an open fire, but that might be a sign to someone. Chestnuts. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Fascinating. But yeah, so this Tower to me feels like, especially because this Fool, usually the Fool is depicted as very like ready to jump into new adventure. This Fool, I think, is a little bit more contemplative and a little bit more like, but what if, like a little bit more sentimental. What if it goes wrong again? What if, you know? And then this Hanged Man is really kind of like, I have to trust that I know differently now, and I know different aspects of myself now. And then it's like, right when you're ready, something strikes, something hits, that expedited shipping arrives. And also this idea of knowing better is like this, this is so cute. Okay, I just got goosebumps on my back. You know, I don't get a lot of action myself, so I just have to enjoy all the energy I can get, even when it's not mine, you know? But along with this Justice card, damn it, I forgot what I was saying about that. It will come back. But we got the Lovers, one of the Lovers cards, because this deck has multiples. We have the Lovers, and we have the Temperance card, which really just kind of underlines what I had already said, that Spirit is like, yeah, we like Spirit literally being customer support, being like, okay, we'll get right on that. That Temperance card is again Spirit being like, what about now? Doesn't this feel more balanced? Like, here's a situation of two lovers that are like really meeting each other face to face. Oh, this is so cute. Are you kidding me? I don't know why, but I'm just hearing like that TikTok audio. I don't know if it's a well-known one, but it's one of my favorites. That's like, are you kidding me? Capitalism really popped off today, ladies. I just want to be like, are you kidding me? Spirit really popped off today, ladies. Okay, we have the Knight of Wands underneath this. Oh, and we have the Queen of Coins at the bottom of the deck. Okay, I'm over you guys. And they lived happily ever after. Bye. No. I'm joking. I'm only joking. Okay. Let's dig into this. So, we have the Lovers with the Temperance card. This feels like a very gentle, this feels like a gentle love. Again, we're talking about this, it feels like this turned into a very different reading, like almost like, here's what's coming. But we were actually asking, why is this person in your life? And I think this person is in your life or coming into your life, because I do feel like we had the Magician earlier at the bottom of the deck. Now we have the Queen of Coins. I think this is something that is coming into your life as you have prepared yourself for it. I think any other time, any other point in time, you weren't ready for it. You wouldn't have been able to receive it in this gentle way, because that's the thing. This feels so, it feels like it just flows. It feels like it just like unfurls. I'm seeing like, you know how there's like slow motion video of like plants unfurling? That's what I'm seeing here, especially because of that hair. This is something that unfurls in a very gentle way, in a very like compassionate way. And then this Knight of Wands at the end, there's definitely like a lot of passion that comes along with this. But it's interesting because I think the romantic aspect comes first. It's almost like a very innocent kind of connection that then develops into something more passionate. But the beginnings of it feel a lot more gentle than possibly what you're used to, especially because we have this Queen of Wands at the beginning and then the Knight of Wands. Like, it feels almost like the Queen of Wands in this deck feels a little bit burdened, because it's like, she was forced to be mature. She was forced to like show up for herself because others didn't. Whereas this Knight of Wands is able to have more fun. Like, this Knight of Wands is a little bit more free flowing. So to go from this, like closing out a cycle, why is this person in your life? Along with this Justice card and this Temperance card, I think this person is a reward. I think this person is a reward for you. Oh, I really hope that this resonates. And for the ones that it resonates, I'm very, very happy for you and very proud of you. Of course, that doesn't mean, I jokingly said they lived happily ever after. Who knows? Like that let's not worry about that, right? Let's not worry. Let's enjoy the moment as this is developing now. Let's not think about, okay, but what's going to happen? Okay, but is this the one? Like, don't think about that. Try to let that go, because this is something that is meant to be cherished. It's kind of like when you get dessert. This is what you've been waiting for. Enjoy it. Don't think about, after dessert. Don't think about your next dessert. Think about the dessert that's in front of you and how long you've been wanting this delicious piece of cake or whatever your dessert of choice is. But I also want to point out that with this Lovers card, this really emphasizes for me again that this is there's some kind of reward here, because you're making different choices. And this is something that you wouldn't have done in the past. Your perspective has changed because of this Hanged Man. Your perspective has changed. And even though you were hesitant and kind of melancholy about releasing aspects from your past timelines or your past storylines, there's something where you are making healthier choices, and that is being rewarded, and that is for you to enjoy. There's something about leaning into like healthier, less pressure, less control, less orchestration. It's just, it feels like more free flowing. And that is something that you manifested. You manifested that. And I don't mean abstract manifesting, like I'm just going to say, oh, this is what I want to happen, and then it's going to happen. Like, no, you manifested that through setting your intentions and living your life with intentions that were healthier than what you experienced previously, because you brought awareness to yourself and your situations and your relationships. And then therefore moving forward, you are different, and so you attract different. And that is something that you should be very proud of and that you should enjoy with this Queen of Coins at the bottom of the deck. Let's roll some dice. Ooh. Sorry. Okay, we have the 9th house, we have the South Node, and we have Scorpio. This is very interesting. The 9th house is the house, I don't know why I said that. The 9th house is the house of our beliefs, our spirituality. It is the things in life that are larger than us. And so that's why I definitely am feeling like a strong presence of spirit, the universe, karma, whatever it is that you want to label it as. But there is a force that is rewarding you in some sense, because you've expanded your mind towards it. You've expanded your awareness towards yourself. The South Node represents things that we have completed, that we are able to release because they do not serve us anymore, which is definitely the energy of this World card along with this Tower. It is being able to release. And then Scorpio energy is meaning you are able to release false beliefs on a very deep level, on a fundamental, on an elementary level. You have released or are in the process of releasing very unserving habits and beliefs, and therefore building on a much stronger foundation. And that foundation is a lot kinder, not just to yourself, but others as well. And that brings in this really sweet energy. I like that. Let's get some oracle cards. We got repair. It's such a sweet card. I've been getting this pretty frequently. I think there's a lot of ways that people are mending relationships and mending themselves, especially relationships with themselves. Repair, making amends, rather than fun times, reveals a relationship's true constitution. And that's exactly it. Like, rather than like being focused on distractions or fun times, and rather than like, there's just an essence of being more focused on like true quality time, like really just embracing one another. And also this idea of wanting to create something together, right? This blanket that they're making, wanting to create something together, and not just wanting to experience each other, but actually come together and experience each other. I don't know if that made sense. Like, it's not just like, oh, I just want to experience me in my body having fun, and you're helping me with that. But like, no, I want to experience you in my life. And then at the bottom of the deck, we have accountability. Responsibility is a gift of love to yourself and others. And that's why I'm feeling like you've taken a lot of accountability. You've made a lot of strides in your personal development. And so this isn't just a reward. This isn't just a gold star because like, oh, you tried. Like, no, you've actually put in a lot of work. And that's beautiful, and that deserves recognition. And I think this person is being sent to you to recognize that. Can you tell me which one? Thank you. Oh my goodness. I am sorry. I'm making so many weird noises in your reading, but this is so freaking cute. Look at this card. Practice positivity. And you know what? This is going forward, going with the flow, first of all, but moving forward, not like you have completed a cycle and you are leaving everything that does not serve you behind, and you are moving forward with positivity and mindfulness and awareness that is really going to set you up for a lot of success. And no matter, again, enjoy this connection for what it is now. Don't be worried about what is it, where are we going. Like, this person is looking forward, but recognize that you have control. We had that magician, right? You have control. So it's not so much about like you trying to figure out, what is this connection, where are we going, because you can't just keep asking that question. You're the one in control. You have to steer the ship. So you decide, where is this connection going? The energy that you put into it is what the energy. Sorry, I don't know why I'm struggling so much saying that. The energy that you put into it is the energy that this relationship is going to hold. Yes, they also have to provide energy. And maybe at some point in the future, you both will have learned things and not want to put that kind of energy into your ship anymore. But that's in the future. Right now, you're in this ship. I don't know that you're in union. Like, I don't know if you're in the same ship, but I'm feeling strongly like, don't see the future as something that's going to happen to you. See the future as something that you create. Ooh, that's powerful. My goodness, I need to write that one down. See? That just like underlines it again. Hive. Hive is very much like finding your energetic frequency, enjoying the fruit of your labor. Like, hive is about bees going out into flowers and collecting pollen, and it's really about like attracting, like attracts like. And you've released a lot of things by taking accountability. And so now you're attracting from a very different place. And that's opening you up to this very, very sweet connection. And also show yourself compassion. It happened a few times throughout your reading that I misspoke. And I'm really like, I can tell that I like tensed up. So show yourself some compassion. You're not going to get everything right the first try, right? As you are building on a new foundation, and you're still getting to know that. You're still getting to understand, what does it mean that I'm taking more accountability than ever before? What does it mean that I'm bringing more awareness into this relationship than ever before? So show yourself some compassion, because I'm pretty sure this person will be showing you a lot of compassion. So you don't have to bring any of that negativity in. Practice positivity. You're figuring it out together. And we have like a bird. That is cute. Let's read it. 22. Ha! Focus. Forward. Forward-looking possibilities, motivation. A woman full of expectation looks into the future. There are no boundaries to what she can accomplish. Like the bird next to her who flies strong and direct, she knows now is the time for focused energy. You may have found yourself losing motivation lately or questioning your decisions. The key to recapturing your passion lies in readjusting your focus to unlock creativity. Surround yourself with activities or people who make you feel inspired. They can be the breath of wind under your wings. Did I not say breath of fresh air earlier? I'm sure that was this reading. So yeah, forward looking. This person is looking forward, but again, don't see, that's why I said I should write it down, because I already forgot the very smart thing I said earlier. Don't see the future as something that happens to you. There we go. Don't see the future as something that happens to you, but as something that you create. Your energy in this situation matters. Also, don't be afraid to lose something before you even have it, right? Your intentions are setting the tone here, so don't even bring that into play, basically. Okay, I'm gonna leave it there. I hope that this helped. I hope it was interesting, maybe confirmed some things. Ultimately, you guys had a very sweet reading. I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, I hope I get to read for you again sometime, and until then, take care.